We've received quite a bit of interest in my free to be workshop. So to that effect, beneath this video is a link that will give you a description for the workshop. And we've also included a special discount. So if that's something you would be interested in, I would invite you to click that link, and I hope that you would find the course to be quite beneficial. You've heard me talk multiple times about the term gaslighting, and that's a narcissistic technique where they try to keep you in a state of confusion where they want to have the upper hand, that they're the ultimate keepers of truth, and they want you to feel a bit confused about what you believe truth to be. And so gaslighting means that narcissists will speak to you and treat you in such a way that keeps you in a little bit of a fuzzy kind of a feeling like, what's going on here? Because that allows them to gain traction in the control position. Let's keep in mind that one of the cornerstone characteristics of narcissism is an inability to empathize. Now, part of the gaslighting that they're going to do is through the use of the technique that we call narcissistic mirroring. Now, it's a very simple kind of thing that you can pick up on. When we talk about mirroring, we're talking about reflecting back to the other person what they're saying and doing. A simple example. Let's suppose that you say something like, I really enjoy playing tennis, and back in the day, I was pretty good at stuff like that. And so the narcissist in their mirroring can say, well, you know, tennis is one of my favorite sports. In fact, I was just watching a tournament on television just the other day. Okay, so you like that? I'm going to get in there with you. Or it could be that you're talking about something of more substance. You may be in a discussion and you're discussing how you've had a family member that's been very difficult. So that narcissist can come along and say, yeah, there's been this particular person in my family too that's been real difficult, and we had to do this. And so they mirror back what you're talking about with respect to a more substantial kind of a topic on that. Or it could be something like you may say, hey, I bumped into an old high school friend and we wound up having a great conversation. A narcissistic person can come along and say, oh, back when I was in high school, I had a great group of kids that I ran around with. Isn't that great? And so they can give the impression, I'm into you, I really care, or the things that interest you are also things of interest to me. And they may even go a little bit deeper and ask you questions of an open-ended nature. Well, tell me a little bit more about your history. Or, yeah, you mentioned that you felt stressed. Well, what's that all about? And so they'll gather facts and information. It's like, wow, this is really terrific. Now, keep in mind that the mirroring, they may want to give you the impression that they have empathy, but that's not empathy. It's just simply reflecting back. True empathy means that you're getting on the inside of the person and you're developing an understanding of them through their own personal perspective. And you'll notice these illustrations doesn't do that, but it gives the impression that they're interested. That's the mirroring, and that's the gaslighting. When these individuals come at you with this mirroring technique, there are various things that they're wanting you to conclude about themselves. For example, the more they do this with you, they're hoping that you're going to think, now there goes someone I can trust. You can tell me anything. I can tell them anything. And so they're over there thinking, good, I need you to trust me. I want you to tell me everything. Or they want you to think there also is somebody that I really admire. I mean, look how friendly that person is. And it's like, yeah, I want you to admire me. In fact, it's okay if you put me on a pedestal. I don't mind. Or they want you to think, now that's someone I can be vulnerable with. And I can tell them all sorts of things. And it's like, good, I'm collecting data. And at some point, you'll understand what that's all about. Or they're wanting you to think, this is someone that I can be loyal to. And it's like, right, I need you to be loyal. And keep in mind that narcissists are highly codependent. They really need to know that you're in on them, on their team with them, because they need that to validate who they are. Eventually, as they have established that groundwork now, they've done the mirroring and they're hoping that you're going to have these attitudes, you're going to begin seeing other kinds of patterns that begin to creep into place. For example, over time, the narcissist can kind of give you the impression that you owe me. I mean, look at all the different times that I've shown an interest in you and I've been nice to you. what are you going to do for me now? And after all of this, it seemed to me like you need to kind of shift gears and do some things the way I want and change your opinions and reflect mine. And so they begin kind of having this scoreboarding after all the nice things I've done and said to you. I think it's time for you to come over to my team now. And that's how they operate. Or one of the huge things that they can do is they can take some of the information that you share of a personal nature, and then they can start using it against you. Yeah, I remember you telling me about that family member that gave you problems, and you know what? You're just like them. Because I've been watching you. You do the same kind of thing, and it's like, well, I thought I was telling you that in confidence. I didn't think I was telling that so that you could have bullets to shoot at me. But that's how they operate. And basically, it's their way of saying, I like to be in the control position. Then, if as time goes by, it could be that you might start showing some of your frustration. It's like, hey, you're trying to make yourself to be this really friendly and into me kind of person, but I'm not comfortable with the way this is unfolding. So they can think, oh, so you're getting kind of mad? Well, I've been kind of mad too. So they mirror that. Or if you imply, I don't know if I can trust you, then they can come back like, oh yeah, well, I don't know if I can trust you either. Or if you're thinking, I'm going to start pulling back some, they want to beat you to the punch, and it's like, oh, I've already withdrawn from you. And that mirroring then goes into the negative direction because, like I say, it never was empathy. It was just a technique to try to keep you on board. Can you see how insidious this can be? And I'm sure that as some of you are listening to this, you can think, oh, I've had so many different examples of how that plays out, whether it's inside your family or with people that you thought were going to be good friends or people that maybe you were going to be doing some major projects with and they seem to be into you. But all the while, it's like, I've been being played. And we have a term for that. It's called narcissistic supply. You were just their supply and they were grooming you. So all of that being said, and I know you can scratch your head thinking, do I always have to just think things through this deeply and this strategically with these people? And the answer is, well, if you want to keep your sanity, yeah, you do have to kind of have a good thinking process there. Let's take a look at some conclusions when you realize this is not empathy, it's simply mirroring. First and foremost, don't be too impressed, particularly in the initial phases of getting to know someone, when people seem to be overly aggressive in their me too kind of comments. When somebody just wants to somehow or another show themselves as being right in there with you. Well, that's nice. And the closest of friendships actually do operate with that. But when people come on too strong, too quickly, or with the sense that says too much eagerness, now we're good buddies now, aren't we? Back off and show a little bit of patience. Let's see what happens with this. Another thought that implies is give your connections with these individuals plenty of time to unfold. One of the things that narcissists do is they try to move a little bit too quickly to establish your loyalty to them. And so part of the gaslighting of the mirroring is their way of saying, oh, you're going to see me as seeing such a good person. And then later on, you're going to be thinking, hey, wait a minute, I don't think that's what it was at all. But they've already moved in and you've already given way too much of yourself to them. Be patient in letting certain friendships or connections or joint efforts to unfold. Allow it to show itself over time. Time can be your friend. Another huge thought that we want to hold on to is understand what true empathy is. For example, if you say that you've had a person in your background who's been difficult, rather than me doing the me too, and there can be times when that's appropriate, I can slow down and show empathy, and I can say, I can tell that's really had an impact on you and your family. I'm sure that's been a real disappointment. And then as time goes by, you're going to realize they're not going to use that as fodder against you. They really mean it. And there's really a care and there's a concern. They want to know you from the inside out. And then they're going to be able to take that empathetic approach, not the mirroring, but the empathetic approach, saying, well, now I know how to love you more fully. So know what empathy really is. And then ultimately what we're going to say is, don't let the narcissist take over by their overly helpful or overly friendly or overly, loyal, seeming loyal kind of tactics. Make sure that you have enough of a sense of boundaries that you don't just learn to filter everything through this person that just seems to be as good as they get, because maybe it's the old thing, if something seems to be too good to be true, it probably is. If they seem to be too good and too into you, maybe it's because it is too good and it's not necessarily accurate. So what we're saying is, when you begin to spot these mirroring techniques, we want to focus on 3 words: boundaries, boundaries, and boundaries. Okay? Keep in mind that they want to feign interest toward you, when in fact what they're doing is they're grooming you so that you can be one of their flying monkeys or supplies and all of that. And I'm hoping you can say, I like connections, which is what they're into, but I'm hoping you can also say, but I'm no one's easy mark. If you want to see me as a target for that, no thanks, I don't operate that way. Now, I hope that videos such as this can give you some good distinctives to think about: empathy versus mirroring. And as you are trying to figure this whole thing about narcissism out, I hope that you'd be willing to hit that subscribe button, and there's a notification bell right next to it, and we'll keep more videos coming your way. Also, I have my other YouTube channel, the Dr. Les Carter channel, and it gets into some other kind of lifestyle issues as well, so you might want to go and check that out. If you have a need for counseling, and if there's someone in your area that could help you, I would encourage you to seek that out. This is something that I do obviously for a living, and I strongly encourage that. If you don't have someone in your immediate area, I have a sponsor. We have a link below that would take you to online counseling. That's very popular right now, and it's a whole group of licensed professional counselors with experience that could help you in that regard. So if you need that, go ahead and avail yourself to that. We have my courses. We have our webinars. Free to be, and then we're actually archiving some of the webinars that Laura and I have been doing on various topics, and there's a tab inside our survivingnarcissism.tv website that has courses. You go check those out. We have tabs to my books, etc. Knowledge is power, and the more you're able to discern the difference between something like empathy and mirroring, it's going to put you in a knowledgeable position, and in doing so, it's going to allow you to have more of that self-care that's so necessary, and objectivity as you engage with these individuals. And instead of you being gaslit with confusion, you're going to have a steadiness and a clarity of thought and understandings, like, I'm on to you and I know how I'm going to respond. And when that happens, I hope that it positions you to be a person of steadiness, reliability, and ultimately a person of peace. Kind of like Gus.